Oh, and of course the decisions you make are somewhat timed sometimes as well, which adds to a level of
I remember, I can't remember which game it was, but for the decisions that time you, which could be all decisions, not making a decision is a decision in itself.
That happened to me as well. I was doing a decision and I needed to go to the bathroom or make a cup of tea, and I came back and it was playing. I was like, what? What?
Erica doesn't need you, Dave. Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of everyone's favorite podcast, the Critical Arcade Podcast. I'm your co-host, Nick.
And I'm Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick. You well?
Yes, I'm well. I'm also slightly terrified.
Slightly terrified? That sounds... How are you well and slightly terrified at the same time? That sounds like a weird juxtaposition. How are you terrified?
It is a weird contrast. You're right. I think slightly terrified might just be a quick segue into this week's game. Can you segue into a conversation if there wasn't a previous conversation?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't think so. That'd be like you being able to segue on your own. It's like, ooh, I like this game. But do I like cheese? Let me go get some cheese. What a segue.
That is weird. You're right. I'm not entirely sure if that it also doesn't matter.
No, it's very true.
I'm terrified because this week's game is... Well, it might be terrifying isn't even the right word.
It's like the most unterrifying name of a game ever. Like, everybody's expecting you to say, Silent Hill or Resident Evil. What game has you terrified, Nick?
Lucinda.
That actually does sound some sinister coming from that degree.
This week's terrifying game is Susan.
Strangely enough, another one. I don't know if you just hit on my own. I'm just terrified of women in general because I'm like, shit. If somebody says Susan's after you or Susan's looking for you, there's a dread to that name. It's not like Crystal or Summer. Summer's looking for you. Sorry, I'm just going on a weird tangent. But so this game, this terrified you in some way. This little.
I wouldn't say that. I don't know. Let's introduce the game first, real quick. This week we had another entry in our Indie 500 series, a series where we take a look at indie games from throughout the gaming landscape. And this week we had a very, very unique title. Dave, how would you tell us what it is?
Today's game was the 2019 Erica. That's it. That's what it's called. It's just called Erica. It was developed by a company called Flavorworks, which is it's good for me because they spelt flavor with a U and it's from England. So
yes,
I'm already their fans, as you can imagine. And then later on, because it was released in 2019, they were actually later on bought out by Telltale Games.
What, really?
Yeah, the company that does the Tales of Borderlands. And,
yes, all those. Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yes, I don't know because Telltale Games had a bit of problems and they almost went bankrupt themselves and then got bought out by another company. So I don't know which generation of Telltale's bought it. But yes, they was
Flavorworks absorbed?
Pretty much, yes, that type of aspect because it was a small indie developer and they only developed like this game and I think one other, and that was it at the time. So yeah,
okay,
more than happy.
Well, I mean, to just develop Telltale. 2 games and then be bought is
exactly.
That's a win.
That's right. That's a good going by all accounts. Yeah, 100%. It's strange enough looking at. I tried to look for trivia and stuff about this game, but it got bought out so quickly. In regards to like 2 games, there's not really that much that came on. You could play this game with a companion app with PlayLink, which was a companion app for the PlayStation 4 and stuff like that beforehand. Which I think that I only imagine the app itself made money off of adverts and stuff. Because let me just point out.
No, I don't think it would be necessary.
It's no longer supported by the PlayStation 5 or anything.
No,
anymore.
Unfortunately.
So I don't know if it died. Granted, in us living in South Africa, it's hard to even download
No.
things from the Play Store or anything like that. It just
I
doesn't
looked
work.
into it, and apparently the companion app does not work with Erica on the PS5.
I did not at all, but the
No,
PlayStation 4?
not at all. I tried every avenue I could on our home Wi-Fi network, and even turning the PS5 into a hotspot itself and having the two connect directly through Wi-Fi. It still did not work.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm guessing it might have just no support for it anymore or something like that. More than likely just died a death of some sort.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it still works on the PS4. I don't know.
Yes.
This is a good problem to have. I only have a PS5.
Yeah, I only have the latest gen.
Yes.
I don't do the older ones. Like, please.
Oh, sorry. I don't have a PS4.
So yeah, I only do the new stuff. It's one of those weird things because even doing this game, it's one of those ones I'd say was again really hard to review.
Yes, very
we'll do
true.
the aspects later because, ladies and gents, this game has a very unique aspect to it. It's fully acted. It's a fully acted video, movie, series, depending on what you want to call it.
FMV. FMV is the word. It's right. Yeah, this is a full motion video title, much like others like Immortality. Everything is acted. There's some CGI here and there, like a cheeky little fox, but
That's true. Yeah.
the majority by far.
Did you ever play the Command and Conquer games years ago? I think it was Command and Conquer.
No, but I've seen the cutscenes.
Like, yeah, with Tim Curry as like one of the commanders and stuff. It's strange enough, I had that feeling.
He's going to space!
Yes, exactly. I had this. I haven't seen live action videos since playing those games, and for some reason I had such nostalgia for Command and Conquer because I actually loved. I get that we all look back on it now and it's super campy and lame and cringe and stuff like that. But I kind of think it's cool. And this gave me those nostalgia feels a little bit when playing this. But ladies and gentlemen, this is actually fully acted, like actual actors doing their thing on screen. It's not just little clips or little CGI moments where they put in. This is fully an acted kind of TV program which is interactable.
It's absolutely incredible, and we'll get to it in visuals.
Yes.
How about we start off with the narrative?
Okay, narratively, I want to know. This is going to be a weird question at the beginning.
I've got a question for you as well, but you first.
Did you pick the correct card when you got 3 cards?
Oh,
at the very right. You got a 1 in 3 chance.
You mean at the start?
Yeah, the same one. They asked you to pick a picture of a wedding, a pregnancy, and
a working girl.
A working girl. And then he turns them upside down and it says, okay, use your powers to find the card that you favored beforehand. And I didn't, which was most annoying. And I just wondered if that was like a story branch that I now just lost entirely.
No idea. I played this game a second time.
Oh, nice.
And I also didn't get it. I didn't get it either times. And his comment is the weirdest comment. You picked the wrong one and it says, oh, disaster.
Jeez,
What?
I didn't even pick that up.
It's not a disaster. I just picked the wrong one.
Ladies and gents, you're also at this very moment in time playing a 8-year-old girl. I can't remember, like you're a young girl, and
Yes.
and a parent go, "Oh no, disaster! You fool! Like, how did you not do that?"
How dare you? You're not my daughter.
Granted. Ladies and gents, the story on this. Again, it's very hard not to do spoilers because everything on this game revolves around different doors taken in different scenarios, kind of Stanley Parable type of aspects to it. You play as Erica Mason, a young lady grappling with the death of her parents and the mystery that surrounds it and why her mother was put into a what's it called? Not insane asylum.
An asylum. I think we just call it an asylum.
An asylum of some degree. She relives nightmares of her father's death. Continues very, very.
There's a lot. There's a lot going on. When the intro stops, there's a cult symbol. Your father's murdered, and you're getting nightmares. And there's an asylum, and you can see the future apparently.
Yeah, there's a lot of information all at once, and it does pull you through a story. Much like this is one of the problems I had with this game. When I was playing this game, I was wondering if this is a game. if I define this as a video game. By the very definition, yes, it is. It's an interactable
Yes.
screen graphics or something like that defines it as a game. But I was playing this thinking, I'm watching a TV program, and I won't go into too much, but your inputs you do only barely change what I'm going to watch. And I was playing this game. The narrative is good. The acting, again, the acting in it isn't bad. But for me, when I'm doing like scoring acting, I'm thinking this should be in critical cinema. You know, the one that the other one everyone was listening to. So I'm thinking, can I rate the acting in a video game? Because they're not particularly the same, like voice acting in video games. Yes, of course.
That you can do. That easy. That's audio. But acting, I don't know. I put it in. Where did I put it? Narrative. Okay, I put the acting in narrative.
The acting is not bad. I can't remember what the young lady's name is. The lady who plays Erica. I thought she acted it very. I think she acted it well. I did play this when I was playing this game. I did laugh at all the moments where, they obviously and good to their credit, they obviously act different scenes and different branches at the same time, right? In regards to this decision and that decision, and a lot of the scenes always start with her big eyes, and she's just looking into space with not moving her mouth, and every scene started off with her just plain saying nothing and just looking like stressed.
I think it's because Erica, the character, is supposed to be a very timid woman, right?
I'll tell you what, my Erica at the end of the game was far from it.
Yeah, same. I actually put a note here, Erica. I think Holly's timid before. It was such a nice fit for Erica, I think. And by the end, much like your playthrough, it seems she eventually developed into a character that took on the asylum. I think that's good. I think that's a good narrative.
Granted, I never actually saw how many story. I think there's quite a few story endings to this. I'd argue in the double digits. I think narratively, which way you can go.
Yes, think?
No, because mine went dark. I just started killing everyone.
Same.
Every opportunity I had, I was like, "Oh, this isn't the same asylum. They potentially may or may not have killed my mother, maybe, and my father." So I just threw caution to the wind and just chose the options that killed people. My Erica was timid at the beginning, but later on just was cold.
Hell yeah. No problem with that. Well, okay, so at the end, who did you... I don't want to spoil...
I know, that's the spoilers are kind of big at the end.
Did you have anyone left at the end, if I can say it like that?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Because you know what scene I mean.
I do, yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, no, I'm glad.
I saved some people.
Fantastic. I really liked the first 2/3 of the narrative.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I liked the first 2/3 of the narrative. The introduction and the development. I think those were very cool. Right?
Yes.
If I can divide this into 3 parts, I liked the introduction, I liked the development. I'm not such a big fan of the 3rd act, the climax.
Because it was rushed.
It felt underdeveloped, like it could develop some more before we commenced the 3rd act.
That's what I was wondering as well when playing this through. It makes you think that maybe one of the decisions you did back you didn't choose may have developed storylines further, which is kind of a replayability aspect if you wanted to know what was there or not. Yeah.
Well, they say it at the start. They say this game has different branching narratives, no one branch has all the answers. Correct, so they're kind of enticing you to play the other branches as well, so you could get all the answers, right? The issue is, after watching all the endings on YouTube, sorry, on YouTube, it seems like this isn't a branching narrative, but the narrative kind of it splits up into detours, and then 10 minutes later, it joins back up again.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that comes back to
right?
the same
So
ending.
It detours, it splits up for 10 minutes, and then joins back up again. So all the endings are... the ending, the big climax, is at the same spot.
Yeah.
And then the final 5 minutes is different, depending on your choices.
Well, that's kind of sad, because...
It really is.
It kind of... it lowers the replayability now because do
Yes.
I need to know what was in the syringe, or do I
The
need to
ending,
know?
I'm guessing you got, because it's the same ending I got, is, I think, half of all the endings. Just with
Oh, really?
different-
Literally
just with
50%.
or somewhere in that region.
Okay.
Just with different alterations, like you might have saved someone and not saved someone, or shot someone and not shot someone, but the ultimate act is still the same.
I have to ask you, which girl did you befriend? In my regards, I don't know their names. So there was the pianist, the renegade, and the long-haired special one, the friendly.
Well,
weird one.
it wasn't the long-haired special one because she was too special.
She was she was annoying.
She really was annoying.
I didn't like her straight away. Who did you befriend then?
I like
pianist?
the pianist. I can't remember her name.
Whoa, you don't remember her name?
Well, I mean,
That's
this game is
me thing.
a single playthrough is hardly even 2 hours.
That's true. This game is remarkably short. No, I had the renegade. Just the
Really, Toby?
yeah. Was that her name, Toby?
That was her
Okay,
name, Toby. Hell
her.
yeah.
I liked her sticking it to the man and all
Yes.
this other stuff. So two different narratives. For you then.
There's a certain point in this narrative where they put the three of them in kind of equal situations, and you need to pick which one you want to spend time with, ladies and
Yes,
gents.
that's correct. That's right.
And that's the only time the narrative does that.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
That's the only time. So all the other times the narrative kind of does something else. That's the only time you can kind of pick a friend.
Yes, that's right. I got you. You can't go back and change things and make a new friend or drop.
And also by watching all the endings, ultimately some fates of some people are set in stone.
Yes, I could see that.
Which is why it's it kind of peeved me that the narrative does differ and then just join back up again to all the other different narratives. It doesn't branch really.
One thing that bugged me is that woman. Sorry, a little spoiler. She started like coughing up blood on the piano.
Jesus, no. She started hemorrhaging blood.
And like the lackadaisical nature of like the doctor coming in. And she just like rubbed her shoulder, and she was on the floor, and that was it. Nobody else came to help. There was no breathing.
No nurses, no other doctors. It's just the admin.
And you're right. That wasn't a small amount of blood. That was a large amount.
I was thinking, wow, are you going to die right
it was
here
a really
just by
weird
playing
moment.
a C major scale?
But like I say, we've said this before. This is an indie game, and you can see where they spent their money, and that was the cinematography. It's very weird viewing a game with just like pure video instead of graphics.
Yeah.
But this came across very British to start off with. We do that lovely grayscale and dingy type shadowing to everything we do in England because that's our weather. And the direction of it was good. The high notes, the low notes, the camera placement, things like that. Well, it's actually really nicely done. It's peeves me that this is supposed to, a video game, and I'm talking about camera. This is critical cinema, so it really put me on the line of am I reviewing a TV program or interactive TV program, or am I playing a video game?
That's it. That's just for a lot of people who likes to say Uncharted isn't a game; it's just an interactive movie. This is an interactive movie.
Exactly. Play this for a little bit, and you'll be completely.
And
wrong.
you'll see. No, Uncharted's a game.
Okay, well, and that would segue. Should we go to visuals then?
Not yet. So I want to ask you: did this game scare you at any point? Were you scared in this game?
I did this thing where I saw this game. It was an interactive movie, so I told my wife, "Do you want to play it together? Let's watch it together."
Of course, this is definitely a game you play together with someone.
Yeah, I said, "Don't worry, it's not a horror. It's a psychological thriller," and she likes psychological thrillers.
Yeah,
and then at the same moment, a hand gets delivered to the door.
That's
and
uncanny. The same thing happened with us.
By all accounts, and I was like, "Whoa!" I remember thinking, "Is this a horror?"
No.
Because that was gross. And there's later on, you get to open a cavity in a body, and I was thinking, this doesn't. I swear, it doesn't say this is a horror anywhere, but there is blood, decapitation, lots of death.
Yes. Yes.
So I actually forgot what your original question was.
Did this game scare you?
No, not me. My wife, yes, she went to sleep.
I see.
Because she
Exactly
was like,
the same happened with us. I gave the controller to my wife and I told her, look at how cool games can be.
Yeah,
look
exactly.
at what this game is doing. It's not like Call of Duty or Super Mario. No, this is something completely different. And I gave her the controller and she said, oh wow, this is nice. And then she opened the box with the hand and promptly gave the controller back.
Well, yes, I can understand that to some degree, because granted, that's one of the most gruesome bits. There's only like 3 or 4. The rest is just like a TV program again. I didn't get any.
Yes.
I
Very
would
dramatic.
class this as a horror to some degree. There is
Really?
gore, there is death, there is a psychopath kind of person in it who's trying to persuade you to join her side. Go on.
I think the most parts that unnerved me would be when out of nowhere a fox would appear.
Yeah, that's right. Which is
I wouldn't say it unnerved.
It's
It's just some movement on screen of a creature watching you and not making a single sound.
Do you know that's one of the trophies? Finding all the foxes.
Yes, finding all 4 foxes and finishing the game.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, granted, yes, it was absolutely soundless. Yeah, like it was
That's unnerving. I can deal with these loud jump scares, but something watching me in silence, that's scary.
No, that is scary. It's a scary thought by its own premise.
I enjoyed the narrative. I really did. My favorite part was finding out exactly what was going down at Delphi House.
Yes. I
The introduction and the development. That's good stuff.
But again, some of it was so quick. The weird caretaker you met for 5 seconds.
Yes.
And then later on, he wasn't there anymore, for lack of better terms. Spoilers. That was
Wink,
weird,
wink.
because I felt sorry.
It was.
I felt
there was
sorry for
something
the actor.
there.
Yeah, I felt sorry
He
for
had
the actor
secrets.
who was like, "Rrr," and then okay.
And that's the last time you see him.
That's it. Like, shame. I thought. But again, everything I talk about it, the actor, the screen, this is a TV program. This isn't a game. When I talk about it more, I think to myself, there was a long time ago they tried to do a TV program like this. Can you remember? I can't remember what it was called.
Was it Black Mirror's Bandersnatch on Netflix?
Jeez. No. What I do know that though. No, it wasn't. This I don't even think this got past a pilot, because the whole premise was, like America's Got Talent, you can vote in regards to win. This was, they do an episode and then you could vote what the outcome was, i.e. they go this way, and then they would record an episode for like a month and then put it on air again, and so that you could the option that had the most votes would be the scene they'd act. It didn't work in the slightest, because it was horrible and no one could act on it, and who wants to wait a month per episode?
No, thank you.
It was a
I do
broken
not.
premise, but it did remind me a lot of that. And I remember, I can't remember what this program was, but I remember people tried to do this, and again, that wasn't a video game, that was a TV program. Sorry,
BBC.
I'm about to say. Anything else? Sorry, I'm going on a rant now.
No, let's go on to visuals for now.
I had one scene that bugged me, so I must have put it very
One
quickly.
scene that bugged you? Wait a minute, before we go on, let's expand.
Go on.
So, as we mentioned earlier, this is an FMV game, full motion video. There are a couple of these games, just a handful, I'd say. Immortality, what's it? Her Story, Telling Lies. Oh, there's a big one I'm missing. There's a big FMV game.
I don't even recognize the ones you're mentioning. I'm just nodding like, yeah, those are ones. I've never heard of them or played them.
Erica is another
Yes, that's true.
FMV game.
Yeah,
I can only think of those 4 right now, but there are quite a couple in the 90s.
Yes, the 90s, it was a thing. Yes, you're very true. I remember those as well. There was a horror one as well, right? I remember there was a horror, a cheesy,
of a serial killer
horror.
chasing
right.
girls through a house or something.
Yes. But anyway, I digress.
That's when I think of FMV games, not Erica. But now, I didn't think I'd like it as much as I do.
Is that because the story and the acting took you in, or did you actually enjoy?
I think it's because of the production value.
Yeah, it was. That's where they did have a solid.
Yes,
it was good lighting, good cameras. It really was.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Really, the acting was good. Oh, the lighting and the production value, and they had the right cameras as well.
Yes,
it's not these budget cameras that you can. on your phone or whatever. No, these looked like the real deal.
Yeah, these were like 4K. Like you could see the hair, the light reflecting in people's eyes. Yeah,
Yes,
this was
the lighting.
really good stuff. And it was, like you said, directed really well. The idea that the camera always looked on Erica's face and you could see kind of like the shine of the lights in her eyes to show help show innocence and fear and all the other things, and her not having washed her hair for a very long time, which is the point. And you not noticed she starts off with hair that's washed and later on it doesn't get washed, so it gets oily, to add to the fact that she's not taking care of herself much anymore or losing the plot a little bit. Yeah.
But didn't this game just take over the place of a weekend?
Yeah, I think so, or a few days. Oh, when did it, for you, when did this game set, when do you think this game was set? No mobile phones, no PCs, they were ring dial phones, or whatever the hell you call those things. This was set in like the 1916? 16. What do you
1960?
think? Yeah, there were no TVs.
No
TVs, there was a writing desk.
No, this wasn't 1960.
When did you think it was? So earlier, later? What do you think?
It was. Jeez, I don't know. Was it 1960?
No computers, writing desks. All the phones were landlines. The piano she was playing was really quite old. The equipment in the doctor's place, the syringe that you may or may not have used, was one of those metal ones, not one of the plastic ones we all use now.
Oh, wow.
And the cars they drove were all older cars. I'm not a big car man.
And
none of them were
use
new.
a gramophone at the start.
Yes. This was set a while ago.
But she's wearing Converse sneakers and skinny jeans.
Was she really wearing Converse sneakers? Like, I didn't see that.
And skinny jeans.
That's
yes.
hilarious. If that's pretty funny.
And she's listening on a Walkman. Not a Walkman, but she's wearing headphones at the start.
Is she really? How did I not see
Yes,
that?
she was drawing on her bed.
Yeah, I remember her drawing on her bed.
Yes, she's on her bed and it's a very cheerful scene until you realize she's drawing occult symbols.
That's right.
And she's wearing headphones.
Oh, that's weird. Because
it is. It's super weird.
Because I instantly thought they got no smartphones, so that had to be 2000 or whatever. Like,
you know what?
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie It Follows?
I haven't. No.
Okay. It's okay. Not all of us can be.
so into the cinema scene like you, right?
Yes, it's me, a cinephile. Is that the word?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. It Follows is another indie horror that came out. I think it's 8 years ago at this point. I can't even remember, or 10 years. I don't even know. Of a girl that's being followed by an entity that constantly walks towards you and takes on different forms of different people. And once it reaches you, it kills you horribly.
Yeah, it seems
so. You
right.
need to be constantly on the move, but this thing walks consistently in your direction until it catches up to you.
With you. Sounds
that
horrible.
entire movie. I remember the director making a point of it to, how do I say this? To detach it from time.
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
You'd have old-timey televisions,
Yeah.
but you'd have someone on a touch screen phone.
Yes, okay, I got you.
Right? You'd have someone using a landline, and the outfits they were wearing looked like they were from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
It was nowhere in time.
Yes, got you. Yeah,
I'm wondering if this is using that same method.
Have you just
trying
blown up another conspiracy like this?
Right?
Yeah, you could be right. What if this was all in her head? Sorry, but yeah, there was a weird juxtaposition of the time frames in this thing, because the old phones, the writing desk. Yet, like you said, if she's wearing headphones, and I so hope you're right about Converse sneakers or trainers or whatever you call them here, because that would be funny. That'd be that, or it's all on purpose, like you said, to build a nowhere space, which
I wouldn't be surprised, because it looks like the production there was some serious thought put into everything but the third act.
Except I've got some negatives on visuals.
Okay,
And they're
perfect.
silly because it's me and I like to find these things. I chose the renegade girl, Toby, I think you said her name was, or something like
Yes.
that. And we go up in the loft and we do what all teenagers do. We find some alcohol and be naughty and drink alcohol because that's so cool and renegade. And then the alcohol bottle says it's gin, right? What do you know what gin looks like? You're not a gin drinker, but you know what it looks like, right?
Yes, it's clear, isn't it?
It's clear white liquid.
Yes.
This bottle was brown, right? The brown liquid inside it, and I said, this is me being very fussy. And she passes it over, and my first reaction, if I were her, would be, "That's not gin. Look at it. It's horrible. I'm not drinking that. It doesn't." She just drank it, just randomly.
Toby,
this is
Toby,
fine.
this is piss.
It was horrible. I was thinking, "Geez." And another one.
Must be beef eater.
Oh, geez, beef eater gin. Well done. Very
Thank you.
English. Do you know what a beef eater is?
It's gin, Dave.
No, it's originally the people who guarded the royal crown and the jewels in the.
Okay. Why do they have a gin named after them?
I actually do not know, but just a little tidbit there for you. Another thing that got me, you must have got. I think you narratively must have got to the bit where you found out. Oh God, how do I not spoil this? All I can tell you is that flowers do not grow underground with no light. And there's an aspect in this game where you go to a room that is fully underground, no light, but the flowers are everywhere.
I see. It's flowered up.
Just bloomed everywhere like the secret garden. I'm thinking to myself, no, like you said, the production value on this thing is so good. When I saw all
but then
those
it's got some
flowers there,
inconsistencies.
I was like, "Whoa, no, that would last like."
But does that?
day.
But exactly. But does that not make you think?
Oh yes.
Maybe something supernatural is
that's
going
true.
on here.
Maybe none of this was real, and it was all. Yeah, that's true. That would make more sense.
Yes, maybe Erica's going insane.
That would make more sense. Oh, that's quite interesting. This I feel like maybe I should have given it a better score narratively now. If this is
there's so much. There's so much going on. Like the fact that you only ever see the alleged killer lady when you're alone with her.
That's very true. Yes, very true. Throughout the game, yes. Ooh, does she not exist? Is that what you're saying? Like it's
what I'm saying is she might not exist. She might be a figment of Erica's imagination because she's going insane because she can't figure out who's her father's killer.
It's funny. This game is getting better and better the more that we just talk about it compared to
exactly. This is what I'm talking about.
But another thing I didn't like, those, ladies and gentlemen, this is an interactive TV program. So at one point you'll find a box, and then the actress will go over to the box and put her hands on it, and then you'll see like the video changes from being real life to a graphics version of the box. Some of those transitions to the graphics versions were horrible.
Which one are we talking about?
There was one where you turned the key to unlock a box. I can't remember if it's the same storyline you did, but the key was rendered so poorly compared to the actual key that was in the scene, and I was like, again, you could see where the budget went. The big video stuff, but some of the little bits of graphics where you had to interact, were just like quickly done, like hashed up. Like I don't know how to explain it. When you first render something in like a graphics program, you get like the basic image, just like a round shell of the thing you then add details to later. And it was still that version of the key. I'm being very finicky, but I thought you could instantly see the interaction parts because the graphics fidelity would go down, in my opinion.
Oh, wow.
Like, did you not notice it at all? Granted, if you're engrossed with the story.
No, I wasn't. But that's the thing. I was engrossed with the story. I thought, oh, this is cool. This is nice. I like this.
Oh, and of course, the decisions you make are somewhat timed sometimes as well, which adds to a level.
Correct.
A level of.
I remember. I can't remember which game it was, but for the decisions that time you, which could be all decisions, not making a decision is a decision in itself.
That happened to me as well. I was doing a decision and I needed to go to the bathroom or make a cup of tea, and I came back and it was playing. I was like, what? What?
Erica doesn't need you, Dave.
Erica. Another theory. Erica is actually playing live every time you play the game. And so your time. What if all the actors are just caught in a studio somewhere and have to keep like puppet strings? Everyone who plays the game, they have to reenact the scene.
Yeah,
like
no wonder she looks like she wants to cry all the time.
And no wonder her hair is dirty. Sorry,
That could be
going on another tangent now, but yeah, that's not, narratively not bad. Sorry, went off on subject a bit. Anything else visually you enjoyed?
Yes, I think the UI was good enough, but my most important element that I liked was it was not intrusive. I think it's the least intrusive AI I've ever seen, which isn't saying much because this game kind of plays itself.
Agreed. Yes. You get just prompted to do something.
Yes,
and the rest you're
I
just
would have loved to experience this with my phone, and I'm sure it's just the same. I'm sure it's the same. It looks the same either way, but I'd have really liked to do that.
It's another game that's perfectly set up for VR when it finally gets out again, so that you could look through people's eyes or something like that when they talk to you, or not, or something like that. Because if you could actually be in the position of Erica, granted she does act it very well, so that would take away a bit of that from it. These games, like I said, this game was fun, but every time I keep saying game, I think to myself, did I have the same fun I did from playing Sonic or Final Fantasy or something like that?
But it's a different type. It's a different type of enjoyment, I guess.
It is.
The difference,
it is a different type of enjoyment.
Right, it's the difference between watching something like, what's a fun movie? I don't know, Jackass?
Yeah, fair enough, yeah. It's kind of fun.
And Breaking Bad.
True, yes. Granted, yes. Two different types of interesting...
Two very different types of quote-unquote enjoyment.
Yes, agreed. There was also another thing I liked directing-wise, and it kind of goes with the interactive gameplay part, where you get to control Erica's head and look left and right, and in manics of panic, or moments of panics, you could... what was it? Eardrop? No, what am I looking for?
Eavesdrop.
Eavesdrop, thank you. Eavesdrop on people, and you got to look down the hallway, and then I kept looking back just in case they looked at me. That was good. That was a good choice, cinematography wise. I like the idea that you were the eyes and peering round.
Yes, and you could kind of change Erica's depth of field.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That I thought was a clever little idea. I thought that was cool. Go on.
That's the thing. The visuals for this game it's really good.
It is.
Even if it's an FMV game,
That's what I mean. It's so complicated.
Do you think that makes it easy for visuals to be better because it's an FMV game? Or would a CGI experience have an easier time to look better?
I don't know the answer to this. I can only imagine filming it on film or digital film now, whatever you call it, is less time consuming than rendering something fully in graphics. I might be wrong. I don't know. I know AI and all these other things that are coming up. Maybe it's not as hard as it used to be.
It definitely takes less manpower. Do you know how many people made Erica? This game? Do you know how many people made this game?
No, how many? Do you know?
This game was developed, as you mentioned, by Flavorworks.
Yeah.
Which, when this game released, only consisted of 8 people.
Wow. Is that the people who directed and stuff as well? Like the actual...
They made this entire thing. I don't know if that includes the actors. Probably not.
No, I'd say not. That's just your paid actors.
8 people!
That's crazy. So in theory it must be. There's no way you could get this game, like turn it into a graphics with the same level of fidelity and stuff like that.
No, not with 8 people and not
exactly.
in that time frame.
It would take years and years and years, yeah.
It would. 100%.
Yeah.
And I think in 10 years, a game that would have been CGI by 8 people is going to look significantly worse than what this game's going to look like in 10 years.
Agreed, yes. Because, ladies and gents, because the visuals are so detailed and shadows and lights and stuff like this, because it is done in very good cameras, like we said, and the scenes are developed well, and the props and everything like that, that would take just 8 people, like you said. It would take absolutely years. It would take The Expanse. It would take like 8 to 9 years at least. I only say this not knowing even how people do it, but I know, like you said, hundreds of people on a team that renders a landscape. Anything else visuals you like?
No, I'm realizing we're 40 minutes in and we should probably move on.
Audio. What did you like the audio?
But the soundtrack for this is very impressive. extremely impressive. The composer, Austin Wintry, composed the soundtrack for this, and it really sounds like a fully produced feature-length film soundtrack.
Oh, 100. Yeah, no, I agree entirely. Again, another aspect that made this a good thing to watch.
I listened to the soundtrack on YouTube after I played the game. He uses such a wide array of orchestral instruments. I heard a bassoon, I heard a baritone sax, or at least a tenor saxophone. And of course the strings. I mean, you can't have a thriller / horror without strings.
No, true, very true. There's something edgy and scary about the strings. So.
Right? There's a lot that's going on here. And then I started researching Austin Wintry, and he composed the music for a lot of, I almost want to call them flow state games, but games where the vibe is everything.
Yes, agreed. No, I know. I've written down the same note. I agree entirely.
Right? So you know which games this man's composed for?
I do. I know the only one I've played, or played fully, was Journey, which I think everybody will know is won tons of awards and stuff, right?
Yes,
Journey,
correct. Journey. There's also Underwater Journey, Abzu.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that one, never played it, but yes, that's the same kind of feel.
There's The Pathless, which is another one I've been meaning to play.
Oh, never heard of that one, but...
Another one that released a year ago is something that I think he's had a massive contribution towards, would be Stray Gods. Have you heard of Stray Gods?
Ooh, I slightly recognize it when you say it, but no, not entirely.
That's there's a word for this, where the majority of the game is just dialogue.
Okay, like a visual novel aspect.
Yes, visual novel. That's a visual novel game, where gods have been modernized, and the entire game is either dialogue or a musical.
Oh wow, that sounds out there, but yeah, I got you. That's cool.
And apparently, it's done really well.
That does sound cool.
That's it. That's as a composer, to have a musical done really well, that's a badge of honor.
Oh no doubt. That's that game is, like we said before, that's around you, and they build the game around your music compared
Very
to
correct.
you music to the game.
So Austin Wintry, if you're listening to this, which I know you
Of course he is. He's one of our big fans. He's definitely out there.
Well done. Kudos.
He also did the Banner Saga games. One of the other
correct.
games I also
Excuse
played,
me, I missed those. He did Banner Saga.
I love the Banner Saga games. They're super hard.
Only other comment I've got for audio, besides the excellent soundtrack, would be some of the sound design choices in this game, in something designed like this, would have been extremely tough to pull off.
Yes,
because you've got music in the background and sounds playing because the scene is continuing on, but your interactions, like turning a key, opening a book, flipping pages, those are sounds that need to be incorporated into the gameplay, as well as the scene running in the background.
Yes.
Having all those sounds sync with your interactions, as well as the game running in the background, which is quote unquote a movie.
Yeah,
that's tough.
That's
not easy. That's syncing the sounds from the gameplay to the sounds what's happening on screen isn't easy. I do not envy the sound engineer whose job this was.
And you're in control of the input part of those bits, right? Like turning the key.
Yes.
If you don't do it straight away and you give a 2-second delay to it, like I said, that sounds near impossible.
Yes, it still needs to sound right.
Yeah, right. No, I'm with you. I did little digging. Erica Mason, the young lady,
the actress.
Yeah, the young actress.
Holly Earl.
Yeah, she plays, and we mentioned this in the episode, she plays Kaya in Stellar Blade. She voices the young shop owner, I believe. And she played a lady called Ulrika in Dragon's Dogma 2. I have no idea. I don't remember. Yeah, do you remember that name at all?
No.
You're the name person, so I just go, ooh,
I don't. I don't. Who is that?
I don't know. But there's a lot of people in Dragon's Dogma 2, so I'm not surprised. I did like that the gentleman, the doctor, I've written down his name. I think Terrence Maynard, the doctor fella, the head of the asylum.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was actually in the Witcher series. He was a regular actor on a program in England called Coronation Street. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No.
It's like our Soapy, but very British and all about living on a little street where everybody knows everyone's business. And his greatest credit, he shouted at Tom Cruise in the movie Edge of Tomorrow. I think it was called Edge of Tomorrow.
Really?
He was one of the drill sergeants that used to shout at Tom Cruise in regards to...
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that was...
What did he shout? Oh, disaster.
Get taller! Something like that. I don't know. And granted, everybody else in this program, they're all very British and had few other credits. So this was kind of there wasn't really much else to find out there. But they all did a good job. I thought the acting in this was good.
Yes.
It really was.
Same. Acting was good. They did their lines convincingly. Yeah, I'm super impressed by the sound design and the soundtrack. There's nothing I can complain about in the audio of this game.
But you can in gameplay, or I certainly can.
Okay, let it rip.
What did I think I gave the gameplay like a 2 or a 3. Did I? I gave it 2.
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is either taking a little cursor, highlighting over something, or just sweeping, or just turning left or right.
That's true. And not even with the analog sticks or the D-pad.
No, exactly.
You're swiping on the touchpad. That is it.
That is literally it. That's all you're doing. You're watching a story, but you're fundamentally waiting for to put input in for you to do something. And the little things you have to do, I was playing it, I thought, did I really have to interact this bit? Couldn't they just done it themselves? Like
I'm so surprised that you're how do I say this? I'm so surprised that you're putting gameplay above narrative in this case. Are you?
No, there's very few games where I've ever been able to put down the control.
Yes.
Right? And to put it next to you, not leave it in your hand.
Yes.
And then just and then you're playing the game. Like you're playing the game.
Playing in air quotes.
Yeah, so then you have to grab the controller and swipe left and then put the controller down again and then watch. So again, the weirdness, is this a video game?
It is quite interesting. I think it's a question worth asking. Is this a video game?
Yeah, I remember playing this game thinking, did you ever have that handheld game thing as a kid called Bop It, Twist It, Pull It, Shake It?
I've played it before. I know what you mean.
It was the input was the equivalency of playing that game. Yes. It was like, what to do? Even bits where you just swiped away dust to reveal a memory or a flashback. I was thinking, well, that was fun. I get it. This is a very narratively driven program, video, TV series.
Exclusively narratively driven.
But gameplay-wise, I wasn't playing a game.
No,
I never felt like I was
there are
playing
any
a game.
gameplay.
Yes, there isn't.
I don't know if there is any gameplay.
That's why I gave it like a 2. Again, the only part I liked about the gameplay was being able to control her head a bit in regards to looking left and then looking at my friend and we were trying to run away and then timing that. That was kind of fun. That was
I totally get what you mean, and I also scored gameplay quite low, but this minimal gameplay, it's extremely minimal. It's part of the game's design, though.
It is.
So if that's what they set out to do, I think they did it quite well. It's not designed that well. That's also true, but it's not like they did it badly, right?
True. No, I agree. It was actually implemented well.
That's it. That's my point. It's implemented well.
But at no point did I feel like I was gaming. That's granted, it's my own opinion and in my own head. I just didn't think I was gaming. But that said, it's your definition. What do you like about? Do you see the visual novels on like Danganronpa and stuff? Are those playing games?
Again, very valid question. It's such. The line is getting blurrier. It
really is.
I would say that this is extremely innovative, right?
Yes, I agree.
This is taking, I wouldn't say strides, but it's moving in a space that very other pieces of media has really moved into.
No, this was new and innovative, like you said. This was something most people, and myself, haven't actually played a fully fleshed out FMV type game. Game, book, visual identity. I'm still confused. I call it a game, but I'm not sure if it is. But I agree, This was very new. This is the first time I've ever actually played something like this. Which, in that regards, it was refreshing and intriguing all the time. Anything else gameplay you wrote down?
Yes, just one last thing. Go on, big complaint. the frame rate of those tiny gameplay sections.
Yeah. They were slow,
Right? Slow? No, what I'm trying to say is the frame rate. I'd be watching a movie, sure, yes, okay, movie. Erica doing her thing, 29 FPS, which is the cinematic frames per second.
That's right, yeah.
29. And then all of a sudden, I need to turn the key. Or what else was there? Pick up a phone.
Mm-hmm.
And that act of picking up the phone, I'd swipe. What's that? 120 frames.
Yeah.
That's the speed of light.
That's very true. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
it looks so disconnected.
Yeah, yes, those bits always did. I agree. It is. Granted, this was 2019, so this game is relatively old-ish.
I wouldn't call it old. No way.
Yeah, okay,
calling this old would be calling, Red Dead Redemption 2 old.
Is that not old? I bet you people call that. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. Xbox 360 is retro, which...
Don't you dare.
I'm not going there. Should we jump to performance then? Because fundamentally, ladies and gents, the interaction in this game is just pointing and touching and just swiping that little special cursor.
I'm guessing the frame rate of the gameplay sections could be a good segue into performance.
Yes. Did you find any performance issues then?
But there's... I wouldn't call them issues. The only thing is that we've got a PS5. The phone pairing didn't work at all.
Just plain doesn't know. Exactly.
No, it's not been patched to work with the PS5. This only works for the PS4. So if you want to use this with your phone, which would be a more ergonomic experience since you're only using the touchpad, play it on a PS4.
Yeah. I also thought, one thing I was playing this game, and I think it's Persona, isn't it? I liked the aspect where you could make a decision and then the statistics of how many people chose that decision and didn't and stuff like that. I always kind of like that aspect to other games. I thought that was a bit missing here. I would have liked that in this game. It's a weird thing for performance, but it is.
Games that also do this to a much larger extent would be the Telltale games. At the end of Telltale games?
That's what I think I'm thinking about. Yeah, it's the Telltale games.
At the end of a chapter, every decision you've made. They break down into percentages.
Yes, which is really cool. To see
very cool. I like seeing that. No, Erica doesn't do that. And to an even much more baffling extent, they don't have a chapter select.
Yes, that's true.
How do you not have a chapter select for a game like this?
Because it's a TV program. It's because they don't put chapter selects in... Oh, they do actually in TV programs. Old school DVDs used to. Yeah, I don't get it either. Okay, value for money. Another sore point for me.
Not that great.
Yeah.
Not that great at all.
Another 2 for me out of 10.
Yeah, no, no, it's not that great. You can play this game... You can play through this game twice.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 times, but surely after that, it's not going to be fun anymore.
No. Like I said, ladies and gents, this took us like 2 hours and a bit maybe to complete. The story was fun, but going through the story again has no real draw, especially now you tell me that most stories come back to the handful of endings, so there's not even a huge Stanley Parable type branching type story.
No, if this had a chapter select, I'd explore all of those.
Yes.
I'd be having a ball going through those chapters, making different decisions. But you're telling me I need to restart the game to see all the different endings? And they're not even that different? No, thank you.
And if you wanted to get all the achievements, you'd have to play the game like 40, 50 times, because one achievement is befriending this girl, the other achievement's befriending this girl, saving this girl. Each branch seems to have a corresponding like small achievement you could get. So they were trying to push you to replay it, but there's not really anything there. It's short. It's worth a play. Play it once.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Really
pick this up if you can get it. Oh, it's on PS Plus, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah, or it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. Sit down with your girlfriend.
Yeah. Tell them there is horror aspects.
What?
Tell them that there is horror aspects to this game.
Yes, warn them.
Yeah,
or don't.
Yeah, depending on your relationship, sure.
And this is a fun evening. This is a fun evening.
It's worth playing.
Order some takeout. Sit down, play this for an evening. It's a fun evening once, and that's it.
But there's very little playability again. The ending's all coming back to the same thing. And there's nothing there that makes you go, oh, I really want to know what happens if I did this. You know, I did my run. She went chaotic. She killed a bunch of people. and then she left. That was about it. That's my
Yeah, and it's not too different if you go the other way.
No, very true, very true.
What I usually we have a nice chunky conversation over here because we kind of argue. You argue that there's once you've experienced the narrative in the game, it's finished.
Yes,
there's no replayability.
That's true.
Then I argue if you enjoy the gameplay loop, you can play that continuously.
Yes, lots of people do.
You can replay the game if you enjoy the gameplay loop.
Yeah.
And you should have your value for money.
Yes. And this
Not
time,
the case here.
Yeah, about to say, yeah. Unless you like, oh god, I can't get enough of just swiping left. Oh, and then just just using the touchpad on my controller. Oh, it's so new.
Oh yeah, Holly, look left.
Look left, exactly.
That's the stuff.
The control I have on you. Oh, look right now. Granted, if you enjoy that, this game is 100% for you.
Yeah.
Most gamers out there, again, I had a weird mental problem that I didn't know if I was playing a game or not. There was just too much putting down the controller for me. But there are lots of people out there. It is a good time. It's worth playing once. It really is.
Yes.
It's interesting to see the new innovation and the idea of it.
Then it's another conversation. If you were to rent a movie on Apple TV, what's that, $10?
Something along those lines. Yeah, I haven't done that in years.
I'd say this is the equivalent to renting a movie for your Friday evening. So you buy this on the PlayStation Store or whatever, and then you order takeout, spend an evening watching / playing this.
Yes,
that's it. That's value.
Yeah,
that's
agreed.
valuable.
Agreed. Yeah,
I would not pay anything above $15.
Oh yes, agreed. Like, I don't even know what this retailed when it first came out. I hope it wasn't much.
Couldn't have been more than...
No, agreed.
This is
and
a
you
full
could,
title.
like you said, you could have a bunch of friends around, you could have family, you could grab the popcorn, you could sit down and actually have a fun time with it.
There's the value.
Yeah,
there's the value in this.
But that still doesn't make it, like, above 5, because it's a very precise... like thing to orchestrate to enjoy it.
No,
max.
I agree. When we review something like The Witcher 3 or Elden Ring,
yeah, exactly.
That's value for money in your gaming titles.
For days, yeah, exactly.
Right?
No,
Months
exactly.
even.
Yeah, exactly.
This,
that's where you get the bang for your buck.
This is a memorable Friday evening with
is,
friends and food and maybe drinks.
Yeah.
Actually, definitely drinks.
Yeah, exactly. So what was our final score for Erica then?
Let's see here. The scores we got for Erica. They all got together in the UK.
Nice.
And they thought they might start a studio. Started a studio, called it Flavorworks with a U.
Yes, thank God. Sorry.
Our US audience is going to like that.
US audience get one word right, and that's glamour. They spell with the U. It's the only one they actually left the U in for some reason.
No, really?
Yeah, glamour. It's the only one they leave the U. Color, flavor, honor, they get rid of all of them. But for glamour...
Then let's do this as our scores. Went to
nice.
the UK to start a studio called Glamourworks.
Perfect. Yeah, like I say, they understand the U now.
Yes, Glamourworks eventually made this game in, I don't know, a year or two that would have definitely taken much longer if they used CGI. They got this game together with detectives, actors, script writers, and everything. Publishers, distributors, to create this game and shadow drop it at Gamescom 2019 called the letter grade rating of D+, Erica deserves better than a D+.
It would if it had more gameplay aspects to it. There was no gameplay.
Right. But D+?
It's the same we gave I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, but that did have gameplay aspects to it. That wasn't a great time, all in all.
It's so... I'm wondering, have we moved on? Have games developed into something so much bigger and more than I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream and FMV games like Erica?
Yeah, also the same score as, what was it called? Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball, or what the hell it's called, Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. Got the same score, which does make me feel a little bad now in regards to the score we gave it. But again, it's not a game. It's hard, like I said. I wonder what we would score it in critical cinema. It would probably get quite a decent mark if we were just doing cinematography.
You're right. If this was critical cinema available on our Patreon, it would have gotten a much better score.
It really would. I think it would, because you take away the gameplay part, and that's where and the replayability part, which gave it the low scores in this. Anyway, so yeah, D+ isn't bad, but like we said, if you like those type of things, it's definitely worth playing. And if you got a bunch of friends around, never played it, it's definitely pick up once and give it a go, because it is actually
Absolutely.
interesting
But
and
get
intriguing.
food, get alcohol, get comfy.
Yeah.
It's going to be a memorable Friday evening.
Yeah,
After
exactly.
that, something else, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But thanks anyway for listening to this week's episode of the Critical Arcade podcast. If you'd be so kind, you could leave us a review, or now that we are focusing on YouTube, like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, that's the thing we have to say now, right? Like and subscribe.
Yes,
Hit that
we
button,
do. We
that
have to.
announcement
If
bell.
we don't, we're not allowed on YouTube.
That's true. It's literally one of the rules. If you
Right?
don't
Hit
do
that
it,
subscribe button and smash that like button.
and that
if
bell. I don't know what it's called, but that weird
The bell.
notification bell.
Yes,
right?
do
That's
the bell.
ding, do the ding ding. That too.
Do the do the ding ding.
Yeah, do the ding ding. Ding ding. It's got a noise, right? Every time I watch a video, it
Yes.
goes ding ding. Okay, I'm not going mad.
No, you're right.
Okay, good.
You can email me at nick@criticalarcade.com.
And I'm David criticalarcade.com. So
That's it. But besides for your email, Dave, where else can we follow you?
I am out and about, but strange enough, because I'm from England myself, I actually know where Delphi House is. This in Castle. This is Taylorside.
Really?
Oh yeah, I lived in the countryside. That's definitely in the Midlands somewhere. I can probably find it very quickly. And I'm friends with all those people. So if you do follow me, I will happily put you into the Delphi House. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. This mainly seem to be females. I didn't just realize that now. And you'll violently explode with blood, and people will just go, oh, go get a rub your back and say, oh, shame, and then die. Fundamentally,
Go get a pillow.
Yeah. So if that's your thing, by all means, go get a pillow. Oh,
shit.
strokes her hair. Yeah, by all means, if that's what you want, that I can arrange that for you.
That sucks. I'm not going to do that. Please support us on Patreon for exclusive content, which is a bit odd to say, but we've kind of paused our Patreon ongoings for now until we get a patron.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a sad little statement right there. Like,
It really is.
Yeah,
I don't like saying it,
No,
but I kind of have to.
yeah, it's very true. Very true. And of course, Nick's got 70 kids now.
Yes.
Which is, as you can imagine, relatively time consuming.
David.
But anyway,
Dave, how about you tell us, what have we got lined up for next week? Ooh, it's a big one.
It is a big one. Next week, again, as we do every once in a while, we're dealing with the possibly next smash hit. I don't know. People are and ahhing. We're playing Black Myth Wukong.
Jeez, So this is an interesting title. We are banking on getting a code which we have not gotten yet.
Yeah, and other people have, but we'll see. And this is it's fundamentally some sort of retelling of the story of the Monkey King, right?
Correct. One of the famous 4 literature titles of ancient China.
Yeah.
Journey to the West.
That's right. I always forget that. Yeah, you always remind me. Yeah, that's right. And he's some sort of savior, and he has that rod that expands and gets smaller, like Goku did in Dragon Ball.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
the thing. Goku's in this game.
Is Goku in this game?
I don't know.
Oh damn! I thought that would have been the greatest little like crossover.
Yes.
Just a really high detailed Goku flying on his Nimbus.
So we might be. This is a big might. We might be reviewing Black Myth Wukong next week. If not, you can expect something else.
That's very true. Well, we've always got plenty. The list is always supplying us with games.
Yes, thank you, list.
To review. Thank
All
you,
hell the list. Thanks again for listening to this week's episode. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.